Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Vulnerability Time. We are officially here in season 5. It's great to be back. Okay, a couple things before we get started. One, please share this podcast. You never know whose life you're going to save by just sharing the podcast. Two, please leave a review of the podcast on Apple Podcast or wherever you're listening to your podcast from. Please leave a review. It really helps the algorithm. It really helps the podcast, get more noticed and all that good stuff. And third thing, so in the episode description below, we will have the video podcast link. So if you're wanting to watch the video interaction, please click in the episode description below and you will find the YouTube link. And with that being said, let us get started with whatever episode this is going to be, because I don't know what the episode is going to be right now, because this is a pre-recorded intro. Yes. Alrighty, with that being said, welcome to season 5 of Vulnerability Time. Okay, special guest, Luciano. Okay, before we start, Luciano, tell us a little bit about you. It's to my understanding that you live in um, Bahamas and that you do music and stuff. Tell us a little bit about that, because you're from America, right?
Basically I was born and raised in Mexico, Salamanca, Guanajuato, which is in the center of Mexico, just a little bit 5 hours from Mexico City. I was born and raised there, but my mom's family migrated to the US, more or less specifically Houston, Texas. So summers and winters I would always go there to visit them. In 2006, I moved there for 6 months, which is how long they allowed you for your visa as a foreigner. They allow you to 6 months to stay legally in the U.S. So I did 6 months in 2006, and then in 2007, I finally moved there. And my first city that I arrived in was Katy, Texas, and I went
Oh,
to
that's where I
elementary,
live.
but now I'm currently living in Ireland. I've been living in.
Ireland, not Bahamas.
I
Sorry.
all good, brother. No, no. But over the past 5 years, I've been living in Europe. I saw that in the U.S. It was just a waste of time for me and what I was dreaming of becoming and everything that I wanted to do. I felt like I was just wasting my time there and not accomplishing anything. So I moved to Spain 2018. I got my citizenship not that long ago, and now I'm in Ireland.
Okay, two things. I currently live in Katy, so that's cool. Small world. Um, um, I knew that you lived in Ireland. I was just making sure that you knew. I was just testing you. But I definitely knew that it was Ireland. Yeah, eh, I almost said the Czech Republic.
That would have
So
been
I
dope.
was just, okay. So, and I like that. I like that. I like that. And that actually kind of is gonna kind of go into our topic today to start off with. So I guess I'll just ask you that question at the end when we start.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
before we start, the second question I wanted to ask was, so you got your Spain citizenship. So are
Yep.
you dual citizen?
Yeah, so basically, more or less, since Spain conquered all of America, they have, even back in the day, when Spain conquered America, every, let's say, Mexican, Guatemalan, Salvadorian, any type of American person that got conquered by Spain, they had citizenship immediately. But obviously, throughout time, everything has changed. Politics has changed. But luckily, when you're a American citizen, because American consists of, just Mexico, South America, Central America, not just the US. But it's easier for us to get and obtain citizenship. So obviously, one thing that helped me as well was my stepdad being Spanish. So for him, I thank him for that. He allowed me to get my dual citizenship. But yeah, I'm Mexican and Spaniard, but
Yeah.
Mexican by
Wow.
100%.
That is so cool. Also, when you were saying where you were from in Mexico, you just have that accent that I'm jealous of because mm, I'm half Latino.
Let's go, brother, for
Believe it
sure.
or not, I'm half Latino.
Yeah,
I don't know a lick of Spanish, and it is my goal by the end of 2025 to learn Spanish. I made that goal like 3 years ago, and I still got a year and a half left.
yeah.
So I'm
Look,
gonna do it.
even when we're in high school, bro, even in secondary or I mean secondary. When I mean secondary, I mean junior high. The Spanish they teach us there is not the Latin American Spanish, it's the Spaniard Spanish. I mean, at the end of the day, it's Spanish, but the Latin American Spanish is a lot more easier to understand.
Mm,
And a lot of 'em, even when you're in Spain, a lot of people understand it better, because
mm,
in Spanish of Spain, there's a lot of words that change. So at the end of the day, for example, for me, when I grew up in a Latin American or Hispanic culture, if you want to walk in the street or you want to get past somebody, you tell them, "Excuse me," or "Hey, I want to get past you." But whenever you're in Spain, you just bump into them and they automatically know that you got to get by. So the difference of culture is
oh,
a lot of more different for sure, bro. Even the Spanish, yes, it's Spanish at the end of the day, but the Latin American Spanish is more friendly and more welcoming than the Spanish one, to be honest.
mm, that's interesting. Wow. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll say, I haven't seen anyone bump into anyone, but I would imagine here, I would imagine someone would be like, "What's your
No,
problem?"
but that's in
I feel
general.
like
And
social norms, it's different.
yeah, for sure, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just we just grew up in different environments, different cultures, but
Yeah.
every Latin American person knows that if you want to get by somebody by the street, you tell them, "Excuse me," or "Hey, I gotta get past by you," and they're, "Yeah, for sure," they're
Mm,
happy to do it. But when you change from a different Spanish to the more or less the origin of the Spanish, and even the Spanish in Spain has been changed by slang, and
mm,
either eat the first letter or the last word of the sentence, so it's just butchered. So it's a
mm,
little bit more different, but I mean, I still like Spain. They allowed me to become a citizen, so shout
yeah.
out.
That's huge. Yeah, I'm trying to I was going to become a dual citizen and for Canada, but the pandemic stopped that.
Mm,
I mean it happened for a reason. Why I couldn't become a dual citizen, that happened for a reason. I see the reason now. It wasn't the time for me.
exactly.
Um
Yes, brother, for sure.
yes. So going into something you mentioned um uh, it, staying here in the US, um, it wasn't um, necessarily helping you accomplish what you want to accomplish in life. What
Mhm.
is it that you want to accomplish in life? Because you had mentioned that. I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
no, I mean, for example, my parents they got divorced when I was at a very young age, so that obviously affected me in a very difficult way, and the way that I process things and the way that I deal with people. So for me is I know what it feels like to be alone, completely alone, and not knowing who you could turn into or who you can talk to about the way that you're feeling. And over the last 3 years, 2 years and a half more or less, I've worked as an English teacher, and my first job was in an English academy, which is an after school program where kids come into the academy, and I teach them how to properly speak English, grammar, how to read, the audio, and prepare them for which is like the Cambridge exam, which is in Europe is they level your English by A1, B1, C1. C2 is more or less that you properly know how to speak English and you're native at it. So I would always prepare those students for that. So I mean, even from then, bro, it was just that for me, my purpose in life has always been that I feel like I always need to help people. That I need to let them know that need to let them know that they're not alone. They're not by themselves.
Hmm.
That they always have somebody that they can reach to and say, "Hey, I'm going through this, or I need help with this." And even by teaching, you could always connect with students
Yeah.
different types of way. And
Hmm.
you, for me, I've always felt like I've always had a sixth sense, more or less, on connecting with people. Even by me not knowing you, I could always get energy off of you, and I could always recognize that you need help with this or you need attention with this. So getting to connect with students and seeing how they all develop and influence them to think different and to accomplish different goals or to get out of the city that we lived in was something that I
Hmm.
really enjoyed, to be honest. So I feel like that's my purpose in life, to help people and to
Hmm.
let
Yeah.
them know that they're not alone and they can do whatever they feel like they need to do.
Right. Wow. Okay. That's huge. Something that reminded me of, um, is that sometimes, let me restate it. It is necessary and it is okay to move locations, to move environments.
Yes.
If it's not, what you're, needing to get out of it,
Mhm.
is okay to move. And I know for me, that has been a struggle.
Mhm.
Well, it was a struggle.
Mhm.
Um, you know, realizing that it's okay to move from an environment that, doesn't necessarily mean that the environment's bad or nothing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like, I had to learn the hard way,
Yeah, for sure, bro. Everybody.
that it's okay to like move. It's okay to move environments. Because I mean, look at all the cool stuff that you, Lucy, are able to, experience because you moved environments. But was that hard for you at first to move environments? I know sometimes people, excuse me, for me, I
Mhm.
thought that I was a failure if I had to move.
No, but this is the thing, bro. Everybody has different purposes in life. Your path is different,
Right.
and whatever I go through doesn't mean that you have to go through it in order for us to connect. No, the we have lost the sense of humanity. We have lost the sense of us being able to connect. Just a difficult thing because
Sorry, repeat that. You said you what?
me moving was not a very difficult thing because the last night of me being in the US, I was surrounded with all my friends, all my brothers, people, and in the last moment I felt that me moving was the right thing. Why? Because like I said, you have to look into what you want to do in life, what you want to accomplish. And if you feel that the environment that you are not in doesn't allow you to be there, there's no reason for you to stay there and to just see what it would be like. Nah, if you already know that from a gut feeling, people think that the gut feeling is fake, or people think that you having a gut feeling about anything is just a joke, or just hey, just you're imagining things. No, your gut feeling is your own body, your own mind telling you that you do not have to be there. And for me, being in the US was a gut feeling, On my last night there, I was surrounded by all the people and all the friends that I enjoy living with, spending my time with in the US.
Hmm.
I hopped from houses to houses, just trying to find happiness and trying to find a home or just even feel like I was welcome. And
Yeah.
on my last night there, was surrounded by all those people, and I hopped on the bus, and man, I had no regret. I had no sense of feeling of me saying, you know what, I'm maybe fucking up, or maybe this is not the right thing. No, I feel happy. I felt like I was accomplishing something. And even that,
Yeah.
bro, I mean, a lot of people still to this day, they're scared of that feeling. They're scared of letting go of what they're comfortable with. But you letting go of what you're not comfortable with is what's gonna help you reach what you want to do.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Did you mean to say let go of what you're comfortable with? Well, like I couldn't hear you. It like cut up.
Yeah, yeah. So letting go of what you're comfortable with. I understand that, you could be living in your own flat right now. I mean, flat, I mean, an apartment. You can be living in your own apartment right now and you think you're comfortable, but at the end of the day, when you come home and you're sitting down reminiscing of all the things that you've did with your day and you're not happy with that, what's the point of being there? You're not happy with yourself. You're not happy with the things that you're doing with your life. Even living in the US, bro, things are changing in the US. Every day a lot of things are going on. For me personally, even if I was still living in the US right now, I would be going through hell, to be honest. Not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think living in Europe, it opens up a lot of opportunities. Living over here, they they cherish the fact that you know more than one language. They cherish the fact that you go to school. You want to go to school, they help you go to school. In the US, you gotta pay 40,000 just to go to school, bro. It's just, man, 40,000
Yeah.
for what? Even when you get out of
Hmm.
college, you still don't have a job in what you want to do, man. And over here, you can go
Yeah.
to community college, which is a 2 year. You can get a degree, and if you're good at it, what you do, and you're good at the practices or the trial or whatever you want to call it, and they hire you, you have a job, man. But over there in the
Yeah.
US, if man, you have to have the money, and if you don't have money, good luck.
Yeah. And that sucks. That is definitely the fingerprint of capitalism right there. That is definitely the fingerprint of capitalism.
Yep.
It's like you gotta there's that societal pressure to get a degree. Um
Yeah,
it's
but
like we're kind of and then yeah, and then it's like we have to pay all this money for it, and then a lot of people, I know for me, I borrowed student loans, and it's like
yeah,
you gotta
man,
pay that back with interest.
for
So it's
sure.
just like they're getting money regardless. That's why me personally, I I'm when I when I come across someone who doesn't pay, like who has taken out student loans but they don't pay them back. Listen, I'm not upset at I'm not upset at them. I'm not upset at them at all. I'm like, listen, to be honest, they don't need the money. I'm just like, I I ain't mad at you. Yeah, okay. Something that you had mentioned when we were talking about oh, just want to reiterate, just want to say this again to
Yeah,
encourage someone listening right now. Um, it is okay to ap- apply for that dream job that you want, because if
yes,
you if that dream job requires you to move to another state, it's okay. If it requires you to move to a different country, like it's okay to move. It
yes,
is okay to learn. You don't know until you know.
yeah, for sure. I mean, for example, bro, the what I noticed the difference about the American education system and the European education system is that whenever we get out of, let's secondary school, a junior high, once in Europe you want to get into high school, they specify you, or they make you go into a specific field. It can either be mathematics, science, or Spanish, culture, whatever you want to do. But in the US, we're still taught that we got to go through English, science, history, and all those things, but
Yeah.
which is, I understand, is good. But at the end of the day, for 4 years in a row, we're still learning the same thing, but it doesn't help us specify into a specific field what we want to get into. So, I mean, honestly, for me, the way that I see it, and obviously I've lived in the US and I've lived in Europe, and I've been in both of the education systems. If Europe was to copy the American system with sports, Europe would be a much more productive education system than the US. I promise you, 100%.
Yeah.
In the sense of sports, and for example, you want to give scholarships to kids to play basketball, American football, track, swimming. In Europe, they do all those things, but they don't apply it into the universities or high school. They just don't see it that way. They always want to just make you go into the private way, or you gotta sign up for this club, or you gotta sign up for this to in order to become this. But in the US is once you get into high school, you can start building up your profile, the way that you play,
Hmm.
things like that. So I feel like if
Yeah.
Europe was to adapt to that exact system, just bring in the sports and put it into their own, the
Right.
US would be completely out of the picture,
Hmm.
to be honest.
Right. Right. That's interesting, to have another perspective, because now that you are living in Europe, you have uh that new perspective that I I don't necessarily have. I haven't been out of here, and you've gone to school here in the US, so you're able to bring a different type of wisdom
Of course.
to the table. I will say this. Um, folks, if you do re- everything that Lucy just said is not a lie. If you do research, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the K through 12 schooling system.
Yeah, man.
It is very limiting on purpose, and if people do research on the root of why the system is the way it is and the Rockefeller, whatever, you will be extremely depressed, folks. I'm telling you, I'm telling you,
Man,
research at your own risk. The
a
truth
virtual
will
hug,
hurt.
brother, for sure, man.
Yes, the truth will hurt. And I mean, that that's something that I've noticed. I've noticed for me going to college, I and comparing it to K through 12, I've noticed there is more uh, a, a little bit more freedom
Hmm.
in learning, whereas K through 12 we're taught, for example, the controversial one, history class. The bad guy is never going to tell you that it's the bad guy
For sure.
ever. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's just a lot of cool things about history that we aren't taught. You know, we just we just aren't, like, the amount of women who have, like, really made this country become, you know, what it is. We're not going to be taught that. That's just an example, what I mean? But
Sure, man.
just how K through 12, it takes away, it's meant to take away, and this is research speaking, folks. If you don't believe me, please do your own research, but do it cautiously, because just be
There's
prepared
a
for
lot of
your
bitches out
emotions
there,
to be
man.
wrecked. Yeah, but like it they purposely kill your creativity
Yeah.
because they're not necessarily encouraging you to be creative. They're creating workers. They want you to follow one set way because that's how they want, you to operate in society.
Yeah.
One set way so that we as in the industries and the corporations, we get the money because we just want workers. We want workers. We don't want the creativity and things like that. That is obviously there's more to the story, but the fact that that reality that I just mentioned is a part of the story. It's there's so much talents and stuff that people come into this earth with, but a lot of people, they have to it gets kind of stomped on. 'Cause we're just like, there's only one way you should write this essay. There's only one way
Yeah.
you should do that. And it's just like, no, maybe it doesn't have to. Maybe it's not supposed to be one way, but that's fine. It,
Even, I mean,
it
bro, I
yeah,
mean, yeah, for me, the way that I see that us humans have more or less not evolved, but stay the same was architecture. Look at the Roman Empire. Look at the theaters they built. Greece, go to Turkey. I mean, man, even everything that they've done, the architecture that they've done, even the Arabs, for example, in Spain, the city that I was living in, it's just called Huelva. Huelva, Andalusia, is in the very south of Spain. It's either an hour away from Sevilla, or an hour away from Portugal. They have found bones and architecture from 500 years before Christ. Even then, brother, the history there has been destroyed completely. They
of
built over
course.
it, and they don't want you to know what's really going on. But it's at the end of
Of
the
course.
day, if you really want to question why you're here, everybody inside of us has a God. Everybody has a different type of, everybody believes in somebody. It doesn't matter who it is, what it is, it's inside of us. And you just have to deeply connect and realize that the God that you're looking for, the God that you're searching for, is within you. So, I
Mhm.
mean, I understand that, even in the US, they had the Native Americans, they destroyed all of them, they killed every single one of them. They even the history they teach us in school, they teach us some part of what the things that they did, but they never really truly tell us what really happened. And that's when you
Mhm.
said, like you said, you have to do your own research. It can be wrong or right, but man, you have your own mind. Everybody believes in
Yeah.
different things. And at the
Yeah.
end of the day, what connects you and I is what we believe in. And I feel like you and I believe in a lot of things, and we connect in a lot of those things, and could say we agree on a lot of those things. So that's what led us to this point today.
Yeah. 1,000. It's just funny. You're just like today, and you just had that smile. That's awesome, dude. Um, yes, you all the things that you just said, it kind of makes me want to ask you about another theme, which is
Yeah,
kind of the
bro.
part of the theme that you just said, just a little branch. Here I wrote it down. Figuring out ourselves and our feelings.
Hmm. So,
Eh, Yeah, go for it.
I mean, honestly, we all, even when we're raised as a kids, younger kids, the people that influence the way that we think and the way that we see the world are our parents. But we have to keep in mind that our parents also have their own traumas. They have their own problems, and it all comes talking from my therapist. I mean, I went to therapy just to try
I
to
love therapy. I love
just to
therapy.
try to understand the deeper meaning of what was really going on. It all comes down to healing our inner childhood, to be honest, and all the
Yes,
problems that
exactly.
we had as kids. Even our parents, our parents were brought up in different times than we did, and our parents started to teach us from what they thought was right and wrong. But even if what they thought was right, it can be wrong, but still they can be teaching us those things. So it all comes down from to what our parents taught us. But once we're old enough to think in our own and say, hey, this is right, this is wrong, and if you stayed in that mentality that your parents tell you, you're way behind. You're not opening your mind into the
Right,
what the world could offer you. And I feel
right,
like not a lot of people have the opportunity to say that, hey, you know what, I realized what my parents were teaching me was wrong, but I need to keep going and tell them, hey, or distance myself from them, or still keep that same communication with them. But
Yeah.
it all
And
comes
just like
down to,
unlearn a lot of things and
of
find things out in
course,
themselves.
man, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, even
Hmm.
for me, I come from a Hispanic culture, and I seen a lot of things that were wrong, but just because I saw them, that doesn't mean I have to incorporate them into my own life and
Right.
say, "Hey, this is the
Right.
right thing." No, fuck no. I mean, if I see my dad doing this to my mom, why do I need to do that to a certain person or to a certain relationship or to a certain girl that I'm with? That's not right. But a lot of people don't connect the two dots and say this is right and this is wrong. But I
Yeah.
feel like that's just a deeper meaning within us, and just
That's
realizing that.
actually something that I posted on my Instagram story literally 1 hour ago. It was a post and it said, just because we are taught something and believed it all our lives doesn't make it the truth. Yeah, like me having to reparent myself and take
Yes.
care of my inner child, heal my inner child, and just do my own research and find things out for myself. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Whether something's the truth or not, I had to find out on my own because
sure.
I've been told and taught a lot of lies,
Mm,
and I would say what kicked off I would say first that and I was having a conversation with someone about this today, is like how me okay, I'm getting off track. I'm about to forget
I
what I was gonna
know,
say.
no, no, come on, bring it on, brother.
I something in my eye. Yeah, I learned that I needed to unlearn a lot of things. The
Sure.
more that I learned, the more that I found out that I have more to learn.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah, and
but
so I
you
had to learn.
you unlearning things or you learning new things about yourself is not a bad thing, man, because
Right.
we are
Right.
still young. We are still going through the process of figuring out who we really are,
Hmm.
what we really need to do. From once we finish the last year of high school or going into our senior year, the teacher is always pressing us. What do you want to do? What do you need to do?
I know, it's like we're not supposed to have it
But
figured out by then.
what the fuck? I don't. Man, I have a lot of shit going on through my head. I don't even see myself going to school. Or maybe I just want to work. Maybe I just want to travel.
Right.
Maybe I just want to do this. But the system is not built that way. The system is built that for you to, once you finish high school, you need to do this. You need to do that,
Right.
but our own body, but our own spiritual, whatever our path is, doesn't need to go that way. But a lot of people
Right.
think that just because our path doesn't lead right to school in the very first couple of years, they think it's bad. But nah, man, you just gotta go out
Right.
there and experience life, experience what people have to say, experience different cultures, experience different people.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And once, man, I'm about to turn 27 this year, and now I finally understand what I
What
feel.
what day? What's your birthday?
I'm turning 27 May 23rd.
Guess when my birthday is?
It's 17th.
No, you just say your birthday again.
May 23rd.
Guess what my birthday is?
No way, May 23rd?
No, it's not. But it'd be cool if it was, right? It'd be totally cool if it was. It'd be totally cool if it was, wouldn't it?
When's your
My
birthday?
birthday's February 23rd.
No way, bro.
Yes.
Oh shit. So man.
I consider that my birthday because when I was 15 at high school, Travis,
Yeah, yeah.
um, I actually completed suicide. I actually died.
Mm.
And um, I got to experience afterlife. It
What
was
was
amazing.
afterlife for you?
If you genuinely want to know, let's set up another time to just talk about it, just me and you.
God, bro, tell us.
The reason being is because that will take me like 15, 20 minutes of me just talking straight. And then obviously I would want you to ask questions and see, and so I can see if I can answer it or not. But a lot of what you said about, spiritual journey and why this gut feeling is telling us this, or
For sure.
why do I feel like I want to do that? There's a lot of truth into that.
Hmm.
But it was when I committed suicide when I was 15. That's what started my whole journey on me unlearning stuff and me learning stuff and me, healing therapy, all of this good stuff, and of course it's been hard because a lot of times unlearning what you always were told was the truth, it
Mhm.
can hurt when, the truth hurts.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
can hurt because I I thought a certain way. Excuse me, I was taught a certain way, therefore I had thought a certain way. Um, but when I died and I got to experience the afterlife, I was like, oh, the church has a lot of things wrong.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure, man.
this has a lot of things wrong, but that has a lot of truth. Oh, what's that? There's a lot of truth in what I was told not to read. There's a lot of yeah, I was just like, there's I this is what I learned. I'll say this huge statement here. Just because we don't believe something doesn't mean it's not true.
Yeah. I mean, bro, at the end of the day, is we're all connected. We're all believe in somebody. It doesn't have to be the same person. And even when you went into the afterlife, you may have or you may have not seen the person that you belong to or the person that you believe in. You know, but that doesn't mean that you and I cannot connect because we're here for one purpose. We're here. The way that I see life is that we're here to help one another. We're helped to teach one another. We're here to just help one another boost up and evolve into somebody that's gonna become better at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And once you
Something
help
oh, sorry.
somebody,
Sorry.
you good. And once you help somebody, it will come back to you at some point. You know, you help somebody today, a couple years later, that will come back to you. But just because you don't see it immediately, that doesn't mean you have to stop that. A lot of the
Mhm,
problems that our friends face nowadays is just because, or they don't want to talk about, is just because they're scared to come out and say, "Hey, I'm going through this. I'm going through that."
mhm,
And even me, I've gone through that stage because I was embarrassed. I didn't feel like
mhm.
talking about it. But even by just helping somebody, it can lead you to it can lead for good karma to come back to you and for the person that you believe in to help you get into that place where you want to get to.
Yeah. Two things that you had mentioned. Um, one, I personally got to meet Jesus. However,
Mm-hmm.
he is an extended master. There's a lot of figures on this earth that are also extended masters. He just happens to be a really popular one, him and Buddha. But that whole oh, you have to believe in this one to go to heaven. That's not true. That
No.
no one has to believe in anything to that's not how that works. We choose
Mm-hmm.
to come to Earth is a big school. It is the only place, it is the only realm in the universe where love and hate coexist together, where joy and mourning exist together. This is Earth is the hardest stage,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the quickest way to learn
Yep.
because of the triumph and tragedy that only Earth can bring. And so I learned, that yeah, there's a lot of extended masters.
Yep.
No one has to be Christian, Muslim. That's not how that works.
Oh.
When we come on Earth, we we okay. We have a veil on
Mm-hmm.
purpose
Mm-hmm.
because we wouldn't learn as much or we wouldn't learn what we're supposed to that we chose to come here to learn.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't learn it if we remembered everything that happened before coming into this earth. So
Yeah.
luckily folks like uh, you know uh, luckily I got to experience again and remember because it saved my life. And I had an attempt the other day.
Yeah, for sure.
I was trying to go back to
Hmm.
that. That is why it's so amazing, just to know that humans on purpose, humans have taken the word hell out of proportion. And
Yeah.
when I did research on how that came to be, it seemed like humans did it on purpose, but that's the thing. It's not necessarily just humans. Human beings, we are all, this is a meat suit. This is just a human vessel. When we die, our consciousness goes back. Yeah, and so there is evil in this realm.
For sure.
Evil, like Lucifer used to be an ascended master. I don't know what he did because the entity of God is extremely loving. That's literally all there is. There's no hate within God. Oh, God hates this. God hates that. No, we got it wrong. We got a lot wrong, and a lot of it on purpose. But, all Lucifer has is earth. He was sent here. And this is, I don't want to say his prison, but
Mm.
he's not able to go back from, this is from what I experienced. But what
Mhm.
I'm saying is, um that whole definition of hell, that hell is a metaphor. That
No,
is
for
not
sure.
a real place. So when pastors, and not, let me just not come to pastor, when I just know this because I know that there are a lot of people out there that are have been told, this and that, and if you don't this and that, you'll go to hell. That's not that's not how that works at all. That's no. We have a lot wrong. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of grace. Humans have literally nothing to worry about when they leave.
The thing is, like you said, we have hell or Lucifer, whatever you want to call. He feeds off our negative energy. He feeds off our negative thoughts. We think we're worthless. He feeds off of that, and he pulls you in. And anything, any bad energy that we bring up on a bar, we bring up on ourselves. He feeds off of that, and the longer we keep feeding in or keep giving him that, he will stay here the longest. But if we finally recognize or realize that any person that we connect with, talk with, can bring us a brighter purpose or a meaning into just whatever we're going through, because every person that you talk to, it teaches you something or it makes you realize that you need to go here, you need to do this, or anything that you're going through in life. Every person that you connect with, talk with, teaches you something. It doesn't matter if you're just friends, relationship, whatever it is. Just a random person at a bar can teach you the slightest things, man. For
Yeah,
example, me, whenever I go to bars, yeah, of course, I like to go drink. I like to hang out with my friends. But the people that I always connect with, or the people that I always end up talking with, are old people. Why? Because they always have the most knowledge. They always have the most wisdom. They always remind you of what the time was like back then and how lucky you are now to be doing what you're able to do right now. So the more that we fit into the negative thoughts and the more that we think bad about ourselves, the devil will keep winning. But if once we start realizing that once we wake up, we see the sun, that's a blessing. Once we see the moon and the light it brings us, that's a blessing. Every little thing like that, as soon as you wake up and you start feeling grateful about everything, your ego, not just your ego, but your energy, your light, because we're just full of energy. Our body is just full of energy and light. Once you wake up and realize that everything about around you is good, everything else will not stop. Everything else around you will just change, be more brighter, will feel more happy. But the more we give into the negative energy is what will bring us down and keep believing that we will go to hell or whatever hell is to everybody.
do you know Maslow's hierarchy?
Yeah.
There's a lot of truth in that. You know how most humans don't reach self-actualization. Okay, so the bottom of that hierarchy,
Okay, how about this? Have you ever heard the term hell on earth?
Yes, of course.
It is a personal thing. It is,
Yeah,
and
for
it
sure.
doesn't mean mental illness. That's not how
Um,
hell on earth works. It doesn't mean that for folks listening, I can confirm from the afterlife. Um, I'm one of the few people, and by few, there's so many people, but I'm one of those people who uh, got to come back to life, after death, and we all said the same thing. But anyways, yes, hell is more so. It can look different for each person. Hell is like basically. Have you ever heard of and people asking old people when they're about to die, is there any regrets? And they say, not being myself,
yeah.
not doing what makes me happy.
Yep.
That is a form of hell. It
Mhm.
is a more
Mhm.
personal thing. It's
Yeah,
not
of
this
course.
fire stuff. That's
Yes.
it's symbolic.
Yes,
A lot
bro.
of people have taken the symbolism and made it literal, but I was like, no, how how people spoke back then when they were even because hell's first name was not even hell. That
No.
was hell was a place. It was part of a culture. It
Mhm.
was a religious practice, and they went and sacrificed babies. Um, for example, like it was just a part of land that they would go to. For example, like a farm. You go to a farm and you can go milk cows. It's just a land. Hell, it was just it was just people did this in Egyptian days. People sacrificed babies. But that was anyways. So that's where that word came from. And then people started saying Dante's Inferno or something else, and people just started taking it out of proportion. It's a great manipulation tactic
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
put fear in someone. It's great. It's great, and but yes. So, but anyways, that's what hell is, and it can look different for other people, and it's literally just a personal definition. Everyone's purpose can be something different, and if the person is just holding back and not really getting to be themselves and enjoy and be themselves, yeah, and that's kind of what uh hell is. The other person can be rich, they can be happy. So hell is not this necessarily horrible, awful thing. It can get that way metaphorically,
Mhm.
um, for a person. But for example, fear can be a form of hell,
Yeah, of
metaphorically.
course, man.
You know?
Not being yourself or not chasing
Yeah.
really
Yeah, that's what
good
I meant, by the way, to
inside you.
clarify, folks. When I said fear, I meant what Lucy just said, um, eh, consistently, not like being yourself, being like getting to the end of your life. What would you say about your life? Would you say that you regret it? Would you say you're afraid to be yourself? And it's okay to be like afraid. That's going to happen, time and a place.
Yeah,
However, like when it's like consistent and you get like 60 and you realize you never got to truly be yourself, that is a form of hell. So,
yep.
what Lucy just said, that's what I was trying to say, folks.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I have to clarify.
No, no, you're good, but like you said, man, for example, if you feel like you need to go outside and be by the sea for at least 30 minutes and you don't do that every day, that's you being in hell. You're limiting yourself and you're limiting your energy and you're limiting everything about you to move on to the next block or the next chapter of your life. That's you constantly being in hell. You're not allowing yourself to grow. You're not allowing your
Right, right. Yes, it's also staying stagnant.
yes, of course,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. And everyone's heaven can start at any time.
Mm.
A lot of times heaven and hell can coexist with each other because those are two metaphorical terms. Humans have blown it way out of proportion on purpose. Um, That's why when I refer to the afterlife, I refer to it as eternity or afterlife. Um, Humans, whether you're Christian, Muslim, atheist, Satanist, that's not how that works. You leave this earth, you go back into phenomenal bliss and just amazement, and we are so powerful. Um, we have been tricked on this earth, though,
Mm.
and we knew what happened when we chose to come to earth, and that's what I was also like wanting to say is like, and I love that Lucy also when you said Lucy as in Luciano, folks, the special guest, not Lucy as in Lucifer. Um, why it seems like if it seems like Lucifer is going like so hard, that's because we when we leave, we get to go and do whatever we want. He doesn't. He doesn't have that privilege anymore. So everything that he's doing is like, for example, like we all know that when we die, money's not going to go with us. You know what I mean? But there are higher entities that are now by entities like also mean politicians that money is their life, and there's a lot of there can be a lot of I'm not saying all of them, but there Lucifer does have his influence. Obviously, that's Earth. That's on Earth,
Yep.
where it can make people see life as just the sole entity of money. That's it can seem permanent. That's because for Lucifer, his is permanent. He can't leave anymore. He doesn't get to experience the amazement. He gave that up. I don't know what could you do? The entity of God is just pure love. I just don't understand. Not my problem. How about that? It's not a me problem. I get to go. But yes, Luciano. Um, I I wanted to ask you something.
Yeah,
Okay, real quick. So when I was at first started mentioning about this, your face lit up and you smiled. Did you already know some of this stuff?
for sure. I mean, man,
Wait, really?
yeah, for sure. I mean, brother, the thing is, we are brought up on earth not just to help and to give and to love and to cherish everything that's around us, but the main thing is that we always think about, or that I always think about, is why am I here? How did I get here? Why am I living this way if it shouldn't be? If it,
No, I meant kind of like I meant when talked about like multiple extended masters and
oh, I mean, for sure, bro.
that.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Oh.
for example, look, the quickest or the most simple way is, why are the pyramids in Egypt, China, and Mexico all connected? If there was no technology, if there was no way of them communicating to say, hey, let's
Mhm,
build these pyramids right here with the solar system. Another thing, the Mayans, they had a 13 calendar, and it was just not based off the sun, it was based off the moon. When the Spaniards got there, they changed it into a 12 calendar system.
mhm.
So, I mean, our purpose here is not just, like I said, not just to give and to love. We're supposed to question everything, because
Yes,
if
it's a
we're,
big school.
yes, if we
That's
just think
right. We're
comfortable
supposed
in
to learn.
what we're taught in school, man, what we're taught in school is not, it's not enough of what we need, to be honest.
Right.
It's just basic manipulation of what they want us to think the world is like.
Yes.
But to be honest, the world is a lot more than what we expect. If you really think
Yes.
that when you go to sleep and the dreams that you have is not somebody telling you something, then you're not really connected with your mind. You're not really
Right.
connected with
Right.
your spiritual level.
Right. Right.
Our energy, our body is not just, we don't just wake up and just, hey, I'm here. Nah, our energy is what feeds off the world. Everything that we believe in, everything that we think is right and wrong, is all balanced within energy. It's all balanced
Yeah.
with the heat, coldness. And for me, is that whatever your energy is at the end of the day, I can feel that. If I go to a bar, if I'm barely meeting you, if I know that your energy is off, or if I know that your energy is not the same as mine,
Right.
I'm not gonna connect. you. I'm not gonna
Right.
go
It's
up
not
to
for
you.
you. That's
Yeah,
right.
for sure. I'm not gonna go up to you. Why? Because I have that
Right.
that sense that whatever you and I are gonna end up talking about is not gonna be the same thing because energy and the fluency is just not there, and that's okay. But people don't think that just because they get that little, like, it just all goes back to the gut feeling, bro. If you that gut feeling, if you don't trust it, that you're not trusting yourself, you're not trusting the
Yeah.
person within you that's telling you, hey, you don't need to do this, you don't need
Yeah.
to do that. It's that gut feeling is the higher person inside of you telling you this is right or wrong. And if you don't trust that person, then what's the whole purpose?
Yeah. That's also another thing to add off that is also learning the gut feeling and helping to discern when that gut feeling is that just our uh, hateful biases? Is that this or that? Is that just because I'm love struck? Like what is which part is the gut feeling? At least for me, I had to learn the gut feeling as well as learn to trust it, but also, have to learn to discern it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because for me and people who've listened to season one till now, thank y'all for sticking in. That's what she said. Um, they know that like I used to. I'll It's almost an hour. I'll say that for another time. It's not like I haven't talked about it 1,000 times. So, whatever. But yes, long story short, I had to learn and discern. Um, while I learned to trust my gut feeling, I had to be able to discern it and make sure I'm not just doing this because this these people told me all this time, "Oh, just don't hang around that person." You know what I mean? I had to learn because, like, I definitely was taught to stay away from certain people. I'm not talking about like uh I don't know, like people like Robin Banks. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying like people, like genuine people, to stay away because they don't believe like I do. I was taught that so many times, and so I for so long I didn't even really know what a gut feeling was, but when I start to get a sense of gut feeling, there's actually some truth to it. Like I was at this point, I was like, okay, I think there's some truth to a gut feeling. I had to learn, okay, this my gut feeling, or is this just because I was taught to hate someone?
I mean, but
So
for example,
yeah,
even I understand that your gut feeling is you protecting yourself from different people and different
that's
environments.
just an example.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But even if your gut feeling is right or wrong, at the end of the day, that gut feeling is protecting you from your prior environment or from the new
Yes.
that you're learning. So even if it's right or wrong, you have to trust it because you're
Yeah,
the
that's
person
right.
in yourself. And if you're wrong, okay, you have to acknowledge the part where you're wrong. Say, you know what?
Right.
Fucked up in this, I fucked up in that. Fuck it, it's part of life, it's part of the process. Let's move on. But if you stay stuck to the gut feeling that was wrong, you're not evolving, you're not learning. Everything
Right.
everything in life is a learning process.
God, yes. Sorry. Yes, God, it's God. Did you die and come back as well?
Nah, man, I am telling you,
I
just
know.
life is just tough, brother.
Yes, that is Lucy, when I tell you that is so true. And also, oh, I love that you just said this. She said sometimes whether the gut feeling's right or wrong. That is so true because this is something. We didn't choose to come to this earth to be perfect.
For sure.
So it's like, yeah, so it's like nothing's really going to be perfect. Things are going to be, up and down. But the word trust, that is very important.
Mm.
And I love that you said that because ultimately the gut feeling is there for a reason. It's not going to be perfect or supposed to be perfect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We are spiritual beings living a human experience, and because of that human experience, the human experience comes with imperfections. It has to. That's the only way we learn. If we go to other realms, it, it's easy. Or
Other realms are just our bodies telling us how to get there and how we need, or our energy needs to be right in order for us to reach there.
oh, I meant like other planets and places to choose
Oh,
to
for
live
sure. I mean,
when
even
we
that,
when
bro.
we choose to incarnate
Yeah,
wherever.
our energy has to be right, and everything that we believe in and everything that we think is right or wrong, it has to be the same level in order for us to reincarnate into that world. But we ended up here, so we just have to figure it out and get figure out what's right and wrong in order for us to get into the other realm.
Yeah. Should we choose to go to the other realm? Because we could choose to go almost wherever, fun fact.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I'm not fully sure. I wasn't I don't remember everything and I didn't get to experience everything, but I always get stuck on that like, you know, another purpose of spiritually advancing on this earth because everyone that comes to this earth, that's already an advancement. Just having to, I don't know how else to say it, but in a sense, we have to be torn
Mm,
down to
yeah,
here.
man.
Yeah, because Earth
Hmm.
has very low vibrations and we are high vibrational
For
beings. So,
sure, a hundred
hi-
percent, man.
yeah, so I never, because there's some truth to what you just said. I just want to know the full truth, like the parts that I didn't get to experience. And I sometimes I can get like really caught up on wanting to know so bad when I'm not even supposed to know it all.
Yeah, but I mean,
So
that's
that's like what you're saying. It's like, oh, now I'm
yeah.
just like, I want to know more.
Even if you wanting to know what you need to do or what you need to have in order for you to move on to the next realm, that's still not living up to your full potential because you need to accomplish your goal here, your main goal
Hmm.
here on this earth in order for you to move on to the next realm or
Yes.
you move on to the next path. First, you need to figure out and fully accomplish whatever you need to do here. And a lot of people still think that, oh, just because I don't have a right or just because I'm missing this, I'm missing that. And that's fine. I mean, a lot of people are missing a lot of things and they're still prospering, they're still doing good. Just
Hmm.
because you don't have this and that person has that, that doesn't mean you need to bring yourself down. Not just their path is different than yours. But
Right. It's
at the end of
supposed to
the
be
day,
difference, right?
yeah, at the end of the day, once you accomplish your mission here, your goal here, all the other realms are welcoming. All the other realms are saying, "Okay, you
Yes.
accomplished your mission here. All right, bet. What can you do for us in the
Yeah.
next one?" So it's okay.
Yeah.
It will take us a lot of time to figure out what we need to do here, but as long as
Hmm.
we stay here and accomplish that, we're good.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And to bring folks comfort before I end this, folks, Earth is the hardest. So I promise if you can do Earth, you literally Earth is literally the hardest.
For sure, 100%.
If you could do Earth, like Lucy said, everything else will seem very welcoming. Okay, so it's an hour and 1 minute. Okay, so I think I'm gonna pre-record an outro as well,
Let's go.
which I think is a lot better. So I'm just gonna end the episode like this. Lucy, thank you so much for coming on here and spreading wisdom. Uh, I am speechless in a good way, literally in a good way. So I get I get to go back and re-listen to the episode before it releases. So literally as soon as we get off this call, I'm gonna probably be listening to the episode for about, I don't know, probably like multiple times within like 3 days. I don't know. You said a lot of things that, need to be reheard. And I really want to dive into and me internally dive into a lot of what you said. So when I tell you thank you for providing wisdom, I truly do mean it, Lucy. This has been a very impactful episode, and it's very much obliged.
Nah, I mean, bro, my purpose in life, I've recently just more or less figured out what it could be like or what I need to do to accomplish everything that I want to do. But man, it took me once I finished high school up until now. Let's say I graduated. We graduated 2016, bro. It's about to be it's 2024. I mean, it's a lot of time for me to figure out what I needed to do, what I want to accomplish, and I want people to understand that it's okay. Life is life. We all have to go through different things. We all have to go through
Yes.
different paths. We all have to go through different emotions, different processes. But that doesn't mean we need to give up. That's just part of life. That's just part of our journey. Our journey is bigger than what it seems like right now. We may
Mhm.
struggle right now, but at the end of the day, we will grow and be a light to somebody and not just ourselves, even though we may not feel like a light right now. Because I can talk,
Right.
I'm talking to you right now, and half of the things that I'm saying, maybe I'm just, it comes out of me. But to be honest, I still need to grow. I still need to
Yeah.
fulfill a lot of things. But we also need to spread our word and our feelings and our emotions so other people can understand
Yes.
that they're not
Yes.
alone. So this is the purpose.
Say that part again. It cut out because that's powerful. People
Which
need to know what.
we just need to know that our purpose in life is bigger than what we're feeling and thinking of right now. Even though we feel low, even though we may feel like shit, that's part of life. That's
Yeah.
just part of us growing. That's just part of us evolving into a
Wait, you said
better
to
person.
let them know that they're not a what?
They're not alone. Nobody's
Yes.
ever alone. Never is everybody. Never. I've always told my friends, as long as I'm alive, you are never alone, and I mean that because I know what it feels like to be alone. And I never want anybody to feel alone because feeling alone is the worst feeling, and
That's horrible.
I've gone through a lot of things, and I've dealt with them by being alone. But I mean, I'm still here, but mentally I'm in a different place. But hey, life is life.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Lucy. Seriously, that's really beautiful. And I'm gonna I'm not even just saying that. I really do appreciate you saying that, especially, the Hispanic male community. I don't hear folks saying that,
Man, no, the
saying that.
Hispanic
So,
male community is a really, really messed up place. It's always
yeah.
built that you have to hide your emotions, you have to hide this,
Machismo,
that.
yes.
Man, but
Yeah.
once we realize that sharing our feelings, sharing our emotions is what makes us grow, is what helps
Yes.
develop into a different human, to a different breed. I will never
Yeah.
have people nowadays think that sharing your feelings makes you weak. Nah, sharing your
Yeah.
feelings makes you stronger. Sharing your feelings of what you think about this or what makes you feel that way, it will help you become a better person. But until nobody figures that out, we are still stuck in the same mentality of here, but we need to be up here.
Right, right. Stay awesome, Lucy. Stay
Man,
awesome. Let's see. Next episode. Bye. Not you. Not you.
yeah,
Not you. Next episode. Hello, everyone. Before we end the video, I would love to announce, and I am proud to announce that my second book is available now on Amazon. It is called Wounds into Wisdom: Self Awareness Interactive Journal Notebook with Prompts. If you love learning about yourself, if you want to go into more self awareness, if you want to talk to your inner child, if you want to just talk to yourself and, you know, uh, find out new things, this journal notebook with prompts is for you. It is interactive, it has spaces where you can, doodle or draw anything that symbolizes, the prompt. Um, you are able to interact and conversate with these prompts in the journal notebook. And it also has space at the end for you to just journal if you would like to just journal. But yes, these prompts in the book are very wise and thought provoking. It will make you think, I have never thought about that before. I did not recognize that in my life until now. These will blow your mind. These will drop your jaw in a good way. In a good way. But yes, The link to purchase the book, it's on Amazon. The link will be in the episode description below. Also, thank y'all so much for making it to the end of this episode. I challenge you to send this podcast to at least one person. You never know whose life you are going to save by sending this podcast, because they might send it to someone else who really needed to hear it, and that person's life will be saved. Because remember, the point of this podcast, um, in general, vulnerability time, is what if someone's on their way home to end their lives, but because they listened to a special guest or to me, because they listened, they decide to live, even if it's just a little bit longer. This is a life-saving podcast, folks. And yeah, thank y'all so much. And I will see y'all next time for whatever episode that will be, because this is a pre-recorded outro. Alrighty, love y'all tons. Stay amazing. I'm proud of you for still breathing on this earth.